Well, despite the cover of the book that you're seeing, this is David Zaritsky from The Bond Experience. Welcome back. And you know something? It's still the summertime, absolutely gorgeous out. I love to have a little bit of light reading. And I love to kind of continue to pick this up. Being James Bond, Volume 1 by Joe Darlington. You know, this is very dog-eared, the book. Love to go through it, learn the different lessons. But the reality is that there is a lot of questions that are left unanswered in this particular book. So, as I go through it, I'm just hoping that eventually I can answer some of these.
Can I help you answer any of those questions, everybody?
Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen, I had no idea. You must have just parachuted in. Joe Darlington.
Sure, thank you.
Joe Darlington. I mean, my gosh, from being James Bond, there he is, in the flesh.
That's it.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm excellent, actually. Spectacular.
Well, good to hear. So, you know, not to use a cliche, but where the hell have you been?
Enjoying death, my friend. Enjoying death.
Enjoying death. My gosh.
Yeah, I was away for a while. Was away for about 20 months, and I was the unfortunate guest of the New York State Department of Corrections. For a little while. Was
it an agent mission that you got caught on, or
agent mission that ran afoul? Yeah.
I understand.
One of those things. Incidentally, I was at my spot for 14 months, which is right around the same time where James Bond was held in North Korea, and I kind of enjoy the parallel a little bit. But
it was 14 months?
It was 14. Well, it was 20 months total, but I was in my one spot for about 20. I mean, I was at 20 months total, but I was in my one spot for 14.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, ran into a little trouble. Kind of a very stupid mistake on my part. I was having drinks with some friends one night, went out and got into a little fender bender, which could have been a lot worse. But yeah, it was not good. But everything is good now. I mean, it's all behind me.
Good.
Yeah, did not expect it to go that way. Very surprised that I was away for a little bit. Did not expect that. But, you know, like I said, it was a learning experience. It was a growing experience for sure. And I'm a better man for it, you know.
And that's what's important. And I know that there has been an incredible amount of not only fan base, but obviously friends and family and loved ones that, you know, have been kind of a foundation of you getting through those 20 months. And, you know, not to dwell on that, because quite frankly, I mean, one of the things I was very excited about, and you and I were pen pals writing each other back and forth as if nothing had happened. And one of the things that you made mention was Volume 2, and I wasn't kidding. I mean, there are a lot of things that people kind of pick this up, either the virtual one of these or the physical one. But there is a Volume 2 coming up. Talk to me about Volume 2.
Absolutely.
What can we expect?
Yeah, Volume 2 is, boy, I mean, talk about, I think the last time you and I did a video together, I said, oh yeah, pretty soon. And had I not run into this little snag, it absolutely positively would have been out by now. Yeah, it's been close to being done for a while. Frustratingly so. But yeah, it's definitely, with Spectre coming up, absolutely not going to miss the premiere of Spectre without having something. Yeah, Volume 1 was a lot of fun to do. A lot of people, a lot of good responses, some negative responses, which was fair, because you know, it's funny, I realized that if people are not familiar with being James Bond and what it's all about, then it might have struck people as, well, what is this? Well, I'm going to be James Bond by learning these 6 topics. That's, you know, like I said, people who know being James Bond know that that's really just a small portion of all of the things we talk about.
Sure.
So Volume 2, again, more stuff, a lot of things that we've kind of talked about in being James Bond. I think Blackjack is one, more destinations, focus on physical health this time around. One of the things when being James Bond first came out, a lot of people requested more personal topics. People requested things like confidence, physical health, financial health.
Right.
Things that I had not really prepared to do, but you know what? People asked. You know, you ask and you get what you ask for. So yeah, so more things this time, and like I said, I think people are going to like it, and it's going to be similar in scope to the first one.
And is it going to be? So let's talk about the physical health. I mean, I know that, you know, even with our videos, people love those videos. They're so old. I don't even look like the same person anymore, like a child. But they keep going back to those. So what is the physical health aspect going to be covered in Volume 2?
Probably not. It's not pioneering, but it is designed to kind of bring it home, to bring it to the, you know, there's so much stuff out there. It's hard to even know what what's true and what's not true.
Right.
One diet will tell you eat a lot of this. This one will say don't eat any of that. You know, so it's going to be a lot of focus on definitely nutrition, very basic stuff to everyday nutrition. You know, not I need to go out and buy all of this, and you know, nutrition can actually get very expensive if you're not careful. So I think it's going to be a lot of stuff that anybody can do as a daily part of your life. You know, not and obviously physical stuff. Daniel Craig pretty much reinvented James Bond physically. You know, Casino Royale, all of a sudden we had this really buff Bond, and we was like, wow, that's something we really gotta, you know, we want a little more. We could use a little more of.
Right.
So definitely physical workouts, but also everyday activities, lifestyle, sleep. Are you getting enough sleep? What's your sleep area like? That kind of stuff. So I think just stuff that every Bond can kind of get into every single day, I think. Nothing too crazy, though.
Now, the physical form of this, I mean, I started off this conversation by saying I love, you know, look, I get it. There's Kindles, there's iPads, and I'm sure there'll be some hologram technology by the time that this airs. But the reality is I just love this. I mean, there's a paperback. You can slip it in your baggage. You can, you know, hit it on a plane. Will it also be in a physical form like this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there'll be a print version very similar to that one. Again, you know, it's funny. I find myself going back and forth a little bit. Sometimes I wish I did it a little bit bigger, but then other times I'm like, you know what? It's really exactly what I kind of had in mind. Like, I want you to be able to throw this into a travel bag.
Yeah.
You know, have it with you getting on the plane. You know, you don't got to check it. You know, it's something you can pull out of your back pocket.
Throw it in a beach chair.
Right.
Or something
If somebody
like
gets into an argument about does a flush beat a straight, you can pull it out of your pocket and say, oh, yeah, you bet it does. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a similar structure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so relieved to know that it's not going to be, what's that giant coffee table book that I just lifted up? Who's that by?
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah,
it's a great book.
It's a great book. You know the one I'm talking about. It comes with its own handle.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's not going to be that.
My girlfriend just gave me the newest edition of the Bond Encyclopedia, which is, again, a big old...
Crazy stuff.
Big old sucker, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
And this is going to be coming out by the time Spectre airs?
Absolutely. I'm hoping to have it either by Spectre or just right around the release of Spectre, yeah.
Nice.
Definitely November.
All right, so this is a major tease. So Volume 2 we know is going to be coming out sometime, hopefully end of October, beginning of November. There's something even bigger on the horizon. I mean, we're talking maybe a year and a half out.
Right.
That is this culmination of all these interesting things. Can you give a slight hint of this?
Sure. Yeah. This is a big old pot of chili that's coming out, and it's gonna simmer for a while. Yeah. Basically, I used my time as productively as I could possibly do it, and I definitely spent a lot of time. It was a very introspective time. I did a lot of reading when I was in. And it really kind of pushed me towards the idea of coming up with something a little more personal, which honestly really didn't even start out as being something James Bondish. But then I said to myself, well, why not? Why separate the two? It does not make any sense. The whole point of being James Bond is to be the best person you can be, to live the best way you can live. So why hold back? So yeah, there's something that's coming out. It's like I said, it's more personal, and interestingly, it's also inspired by a lot of the comments that I got from the first book, and some of the criticisms. There weren't a lot of criticism, but there were a few that said, I think there was one in particular that sort of rings out in my mind, and it just said flatly that the author got it wrong. And I kind of was like,
wow.
Well, wait a second, you don't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
How do you know that I got it wrong? But he kind of said he was looking for something that had a little more to do with, you know, inner strength, confidence, that kind of thing. And even being James Bond, there was so many requests for, you know, when are we going to talk about physical health? When are we going to talk about money? When are we going to talk about Bond women?
Right.
And I kind of said, well, you know, I wasn't planning on going that way, but you know what? As far as I'm concerned, the people have spoken, and I kind of feel like I have something to say about those things now. I feel like these are things that I'm ready to talk about and can contribute to, and I'm ready to do it. And I think it's going to be, pretty good. This obviously I've had a lot of time to think about it, to work it, and have come up with something that I think is I think people are going to like this one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
I mean, so reality-wise, I got a sneak peek within your manifesto notebook, if you will, and it's a journey that I think you're going to be taking people on, that they can find different areas where it's like, oh, I can enter in the experience here, I can enter it into it here, and I would expect nothing less from being James Bond. So first of all, I'm excited about that, but most of all, great to have you back.
Thank you.
Now you'll be just thrust into the velocity of James Bond again, no doubt.
It's a fantastic time to be a Bond fan, I swear. I mean, I'm so glad I'm here in time for Spectre, boy. I mean, it looks phenomenal. You know, I mean, it really I mean, just aside from the bigger storyline, pulling in classic Fleming elements, classic Bond cinematic elements, so many even little things that you spot in that trailer, you're just like, oh my god, this looks so good. So it's really something else, and I'm absolutely excited by this.
It's hard not to spoil ourselves from it.
It really is. I'm being very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. A little spoiler here and there, but for the most part,
careful.
I'm trying to.
There are some people that just are throwing spaghetti against the wall, but listen, first of all, thank you for stopping by. It was a bit creepy how you just showed up, but I love it.
That's how I roll, you know?
That's how you roll. This has been David Zaritsky and Joe Darlington from Being James Bond and the Bond Experience. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, my friend.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Take care. Cool.